We're on.
We're on.
Oh.
You think after this time we're like,
We
working?
would have figured it out by now. Golly. Okay, day 13.
Day 13.
Real life.
Yeah, and this is like a real life
There's
topic.
some real nitty gritty here.
Citrus Fresh Vitality is our oil for today, and it is fabulous.
I love
Just
it.
get it out and smell it. It is like brighten your day fabulous. So, I mean, it's one like when it's labeled as a, aromatic, because of course this is labeled as a supplement, so we're not going to talk about it. But when it's labeled as an aromatic, you could put it like like Stress Away or lavender, like we've been talking about.
All the citrus oils are very uplifting, but this one is particularly uplifting, and it has a blend of all the different citrus oils in there. And so since it is a supplement, we haven't talked about the concerns about putting it on topically. As a bunch of citrus oils in there, that generally the citrus oils are photosensitizing. So you want to, if you're putting a citrus oil on topically, you want to avoid sunlight, direct sunlight.
Put it where the sun doesn't.
Put it where the sun doesn't shine, and you solves all the problems. So just on a little side note, safety wise.
Like from an aromatic topical standpoint, the Citrus Fresh or any of the citrus oils you could use similarly to the way we talk about using Stress Away or lavender. Put it in your pocket, use it every hour.
Sure.
This one labeled as a supplement, you can use similarly to the way we said to use lemon, where you put it in your water all day long.
Or use.
Right. Oh, well, yeah, any of the ways we said to use it like that. So, but this one really stood out to us for talking about cleansing as an opportunity to bring cleansing into the discussion, because as Peter said, a lot of times when you start being very intentional about working on your body, which we've been doing now for day 13, the body says, woohoo, we're working.
Finally, you're paying attention and you're providing some resources that we hadn't had before, and voila, this is a chance.
Dump some stuff. Just like we're
toxins.
Like, let's go clean out a closet. We've got time. We've got resources. Body says the same.
In fact, that's a pretty good analogy, because when you go to clean out the closet, you start the process, but you don't always finish it. If you notice that,
and then it's all in the hallway.
And then it's in the hallway, and you're tripping over it, and then you've got dust come out, and all the rest of that stuff. So the body kind of does the same thing sometimes. It has enough resources to get started.
Let's get it out.
And then it doesn't finish, and so the stuff's all hanging out, and it's all floating around. And you feel like, oh my gosh, what's going on? I shouldn't.
You might be a little bit more tired, cranky.
Of
course, that could be the full moon.
Emotional.
Right.
It could just be that we're all going a little stir crazy, but
right. It could be that you're cleansing.
But the cleansing is a real thing, and so there's two aspects to cleansing, which I don't have time to go into all of this. But phase 1 and phase 2. So phase 1 in the liver, phase 1 part of cleansing is where it takes those toxins and neutralizes them.
Well, it gets it mobilized.
It mobilizes them, and so that phase 2 then is to neutralize and eliminate. So sometimes if phase 1 gets activated, it mobilizes. Woo! That's the pulling all the stuff out of the closet. And then the phase 2 is that hard work that you have to say, let's get rid of that, throw it away. And then you kind of look at it and go, I don't want to deal with that. Do you want to deal with that? No, I don't want to deal with it.
So phase 1, the oils are fabulous. All antioxidants, water soluble, like when you're eating your berries and your greens. Your Ningxia Red has both fat soluble and water soluble. And then the oils are going to be fat soluble, like Peter talked about in his video. So they can get, any of the antioxidants are great at getting things mobilized into phase 1.
So they are great phase 1 mobilizers, but sometimes, like I said, you're too much mobilization if you don't have enough support for phase 2.
Phase 2. And those are the supplements that Peter talked about in his video.
And that's the sulfurzyme and the super
extra
vitamin C.
So Ningxia Red is a great one for this.
But that is a really important support for phase 2. You need that extra. And oxygen is actually an important element. So are minerals. There's a lot to talk about. I don't want to get into all the little nitty-gritty details of it. But sulfurzyme is if you had to pick one supplement.
If we had to pick one, really very few things that we take every single day, and sulfurzyme we take every single day.
Right, and that's that phase 2 support, and that's kind of like our insurance in our back pocket, that insurance from cleansing reactions. Right. And when we do have cleansing reactions, we take more sulfurzyme. I mean, I've taken 30 capsules in a day before, when my body decided to go through a massive detox. So there's no upper limit on the sulfurzyme. We just keep taking more and more and more to help that body flush it out.
From the sulfurzyme that's sold in the U.S. market.
Yes, the Young Living Sulfurzyme in the U.S.
That has,
market. Actually, if you're in some of the foreign markets, the sulfurzyme has
some essential oils in
some essential oils in it, which adds a layer of phase 1 detoxing, which could throw that out of balance. So you don't want to take too much of that. So anyway, just a little caveat there. Sorry about for those of you who are
message us
if you're if you're in a foreign market and you want to figure out how to manage that. But yeah, that's a nuance I don't want to get into right now.
Right. Okay, so the phase 1, phase 2, so if you're running into a cleansing reaction, that could be something to go on. So a lot of times we'll back off on the topical use of the essential oils.
Reduce essential oil use.
And then add in the extra phase 2 supplement support.
Right.
And then let's also talk about, because I think a really important part of the cleansing mechanism that we have in our body is the lymphatic system. So can you talk about, like, where does the lymph come from and what is it cleaning up?
So the body's natural cleansing for tissue is the lymph. And the lymph is kind of like the sewer system. It's the drainage system. As you have circulation, blood move into tissue, and here's tissue, and then there's fluid surrounding the tissue. Well, the tissue is it's flushing the toilet. The tissue is dumping metabolic toxins out into the extracellular matrix, and that is pulled and drained through channels that are known as lymph. And so there's that. It's a continuation from the blood to
like
the lymph,
closed circuit between the blood and the lymph,
and it flows. And so that it's the lymph then that is goes through lymph nodes. It gets filtered, and on the foreign materials are trapped, and bacteria and viruses and parasites and fungus. All of that are cleaned up, and the immune system is really heavily involved in the lymph system.
The way
and so you have lymph nodes, and you've noticed that when the
doctor checks you to
on
see
the
if
early stages
have
of being
infection.
sick, you have swollen or painful lymph nodes. That's your immune system taking action against something.
Right, because the way my brain, like the way I envisioned it, like those macrophages, the white blood cells, they're going like little Pac-Man in the blood. And they go, and watch a video. It's so cool. So then they swallow up the pathogen.
They do.
And then they it bursts in there, and then all that metabolic waste basically, or the waste breaks open, and then that has to be cleaned up. So it goes out into the lymph or the bloodstream or whatever, and it goes through either the liver or it's going to go through the lymph and get cleaned up.
Well, eventually that dumps and filters through the liver and the kidneys, and then some of that goes out through the bowel. So it still has to eliminate.
It's eliminating. And
you
so
still
there's
have to have
extra load on the system.
Right. You still have to have the elimination system moving well.
Right.
And so
that's one of the first things, like when I'm like, I'm not sick, but I'm like, my body's working on something,
Your body's has extra
load.
There's an extra load. There's a stressor.
Right.
happening.
And so it's one of the very first, like, I'm moving, I just moved,
into the downward
and
direction.
it'll be just a slight change in my lymph system. And so when you get good at feeling these minute changes in your lymph system, you can catch these things so early.
Which makes such a huge difference when you know, I better boost my immune system. So you take your Ningxia Red and your sulfur and your Super C, and then you add a few oils to this process, and you hit it 6 times in a day, and voila, you've intervened early and headed off.
Right. So one of our skills we've talked about is managing cleansing today. And so you can play with, I really find that the capsule of a citrus oil, the Citrus Fresh is the one we're working with today, is I can kind of feel my lymph system moving a little better. So feel what that feels like. And you might be like, Amy, that's so subtle. Yeah, it is.
What's worth talking about here is the red drink, because it has the lime oil, the sulfurzyme, and the Ningxia Red all in one.
So you can mix up some red drink and start feeling this. So one of the ways that you can get in touch with your lymphatic system and what it feels like when it's thick versus when it's moving is to practice doing some lymph massage and some fluid drainage from your upper body.
So now Amy's a certified lymph drainage therapist, and so she knows what she's doing.
I don't know if I would go that far, but yes, I've been trained in lymph drainage. So
you have certification, right?
Okay, so it's just
okay.
Just
it's not hard to do.
No,
You can do
and
it
we
at
have
home.
some videos.
We
So I'm
actually
going
have
to put
several videos.
a version from Peter and a version from me. And so you can get some ideas and just practice. This is one of those wellness skills. Try it when you don't, quote unquote, need it, so that you get to know what it feels like. And you'll start to feel like, oh, all of a sudden I hear something different. Or
well,
I
if you do
feel
one
a little
side,
bit, right?
if you do one side in the lymph thing, just moving the lymph very gently, and do only one side, then you feel what this side feels like, and you haven't done the other side, and it's like, wow, this one all
Right.
feels all fluffy and tingly, and this feels dead and draggy.
Right.
I mean, there's a big difference. In fact, even just a little tiny bit I did made a difference. So I'm going to do the other.
Right. So you can use.
Collarbone.
I use the any of the citrus oils. Like this one has the cosmetic aromatic label. Anyway, I'll just put
Lime oil.
This is lime oil. But any of the citrus oils, I'll put on my neck, and then do. If I'm in a hurry, because I'll just do something like simple like this, and it's very low. You
The
need
amount of-
very low pressure.
It's a very light stroke.
Like you're moving a coin across your hand. It's just really not
very
much pressure.
gentle pressure.
Yes, and just simply like that, that's enough to get a little bit moving, and then you can do the more in-depth one. So that would be your challenge today. Like try that, and then also
watch one of the videos.
maybe take a capsule of oil throughout the day, like once or twice a day, and just kind of feel what that feels like in your body, and then also do the lymph massage just to get into just to feel it. The point is to feel it and get to know your body system.
And that you can intervene with cleansing. You can actually do a little bit of your own lymph massage that can promote cleansing and clearing of tissue.
Yes.
So that's all a good thing.
Did we cover it all?
I don't know.
I think we did.
Water, food.
Right. So our connections today are from the wellness strategy. Sometimes the Stop the Poison, like we might not be actively like we're just doing our Stop the Poison in general, but our body's like, woohoo! Now I can get rid of some poisons. So it's the body stopping the poison or getting rid of or flushing the poisons out.
So cleansing.
Cleansing, right. And then flood the body with nutrients. Give your body the resources that it needs in order to do that well.
This is important, actually, to really hone this skill during cleansing, because the body utilizes resources in order to eliminate these toxins. And sometimes it runs out of those resources in the middle of the process. And
like you clean in the closet.
Yeah, and that is when you need to flood the body with more nutrients. And so some people will have weird reactions to this and decide, oh, well, natural stuff doesn't work. I'm going to have to go get, stop the process with a medication. And that's in many cases, the very wrong thing to do from a standpoint of your body is in a movement of clearing toxins out, and you're literally blocking the body's process. If you just take more supplements that help the body do what it needs to do,
not
it
push
clears
a
it out.
cleanse, the supplements that help
Sulfurzyme,
right,
Ninja Red,
that help the body do
vitamin
what it's
C.
already doing.
The body just needs those as resources.
Right. Okay. So
that's that flood the body with nutrients
4
during
essentials
cleansing.
for life. We're talking a lot about water being your primary cleanser, actually air being your primary cleanser, those two. And then from the food perspective, the supplements giving your body resources that it needs. And then from the While Wellness program, where we're focusing on body systems, we've talked quite a bit in this video. We've talked a lot about the fluid system, or the blood and the lymph circulation. And then month 4 of elimination, which we didn't specifically talk about colon and kidneys, which is but that whole process of cleansing and eliminating is what we're talking about. So
It's hard to cover it all.
it is, and
That's
do
why
have
we have
an
200
amazing
videos in a series.
Well, that's true. That are all free from the While Wellness program on our YouTube channel, and then also the While in our Facebook group, our membership Facebook group, we have a specific. Well, actually, we've done some demo cleanses and walked through cleanses with the group. And then also we did a workshop on putting cleansing into an overall perspective.
Well, there's some great workshops. There's a 3-part workshop on cleansing. There's a 3-part workshop on supplementation. How do I take supplements, when and how? And we talk about when and how to take supplements during cleansing, during that protocol. So there's actually a lot of material there that you could dive into.
Right. All right. Well, y'all have a great day. Enjoy playing with Citrus Fish. I hope it's uplifting for you all day. And we'll see you tomorrow.